one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is 6.1, adoption of the agenda, and I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. The agenda is adopted. Item number 7 will report closed session action. There were 2 items that the board had discussed: conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Government Code 54956.9, and the 2 cases are: in closed session, the Board of Education rejected the tort claim submitted by Mercury Insurance Company, ASO Brooke Epperson, by a unanimous vote. And the second case that the Board of Education considered and rejected the tort claim submitted on behalf of Jessica Matthias by a unanimous vote. Those were the 2 actions that were discussed in closed session. Moving on to item number 8.1, we have report from our student board member representative. Board member Kim.
Hi, everyone. It's bittersweet to say, but this is my last student report of the year. I just want to say what an amazing journey it's been. But before I get all sentimental, let's get into the incredible highlights happening at South, North, Torrance, and West High, all through a portrait of a graduate lens. Communication and collaboration. Our students have been stepping up, speaking out, and showcasing their creativity through powerful performances and presentations. At Torrance High, our fellow students from the fashion department hit the runway and shine at their annual fashion show, showing months of hard work, design, and vision. Over at West, English 4 students are presenting their passions at the I Care Fair, where they're addressing real-world issues like climate change, pollution through engaging student-led projects. Also at West, shout out to the speech and debate team and Coach Ronnie for their strong showing at the state championship tournament. West High's theater department earned a Play Builder spotlight for their incredible production of the Sister Act. Theater director Chrissy Arabuna shared how the program mirrors the professional world. Talk about preparing for Broadway and real life. And I can't forget about the Marine Science Club at South, which hosted an epic paper and glue boat race at the George Mannion Aquatic Center. These boats were teacher-powered and locally sponsored. What a splash of innovation and fun. Growth mindset and lifelong learning. From records being broken to next-level learning, our students are pushing themselves to new heights. At South, the girls' track and field team broke the 4x400 school record and are heading to Masters. Liam Miller also qualified for Masters at the 3200 meter by placing 3rd at CAF Finals, and Logan Thompson became the Division II champion for shot put. South baseball is swinging into round 2 for CIF, and Spartan pride is sky high. Batter up! Torrance High School is also going to CIF round 2 for Division 2. Torrance High's very own Nick Obimba and Kiana Greer are heading to CIF Masters. Nick placed first in the 200 meter, and Kiana threw a 39-foot 3-inch to take 3rd place. Let's go Charters! And big congrats to our FCCLA team at Torrance. 10 students rocked it at the CA Leadership Conference, with Jasper Covey, Audra Edwards, and Nayla Cayley all qualifying for nationals. At West, Miss Kawan ELD's class dove into media literacy, learning how to spot AI-generated images and applying their critical thinking skills like a pro. Civic engagement and global citizenship. Our students are connecting with their communities, championing causes, and showing the world what it means to care. The Marine Science Club isn't just about boats. They're also working with local businesses to sponsor their event, reading science with community support. And at North, seniors planned a surprise in the quad to ask Coach Pete to be their baccalaureate speaker, a heartfelt moment of respect and community spirit. Healthy habits and life skills. Our campuses are buzzing with fun, creativity, and wellness, and a little bit of friendly competition too. North High is soaking up sunshine with their spring into summer week. Today was Tourist Day, and they got Wild Wednesday BBQ, bash, and sounds of summer coming up. West is keeping up with the vibes with Spirit Week, including Barbie vs. Ken Day, Anything But a Backpack Day, Pool Day, and Adam Sandler Day. Their senior goodbye rally is this Friday, even features a lip sync battle. Doesn't get any better than that. Over at Torrance High, we kick off Spirit Week with Crazy Hair Day today, and students are literally painting the quad in color. I may or may not be having some blue strikes in my hair because of it. Last week, it was also TUSD Wellness Week, reminding students to take care of themselves as their year winds down. Leadership and character. Leadership has been shining across every campus. We're especially celebrating those who've led by example this year. At South, student athletes will be honored this Friday on signing day as they officially commit to their schools across the country. Talk about hard work being paid off. North Spring Club Rush is energizing underclassmen to get involved with clubs, pulling out all the stops showcase with what they're about. And across all 4 schools, we're celebrating achievement awards this week, honoring the students and staff who've gone above and beyond. As I close off my final report for this year, I want to take a moment to give a big shout out to my fellow student board members, Chelsea, Juliet, and Angie. You've been nothing short of inspiring, and as seniors, you're off to chase your new dreams. And I feel incredibly lucky to have crossed paths with such brilliant, driven, and kind-hearted young women. So, I've learned so much from each and every one of you, and I will carry these lessons into my life when I go into my senior year. Even though I'm only a junior today, I know my future is bright because of the leaders like you who have come before me. The universe didn't make me the same age as you guys because they knew my crazy self needed mentors, ones who wanted to teach me, to make me laugh, and of course to put up with me finding new ways to annoy them. I'll always be second to you guys, thus making me your biggest cheerleader. You guys are like the sisters I never had, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you so much for an incredible school year, and it's been an honor to represent our students, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much. As always, you do an amazing job with your report. Really appreciate that. And we have a little recognition for you. So if you don't mind, if you can join the board right here in the front, and I would like to ask my colleagues to join me up front too. And we would also like to call upon student board member Angelina Curious to join us up as well.
I take an opportunity to thank our student board members as well. Yeah, I just want to also thank you all. You're such amazing, incredible young women, and you have such bright futures ahead of you. And it's been a real pleasure to be able to be a part of your story here at TUSD. And I hope this exposure to local governance helps you on your on your journeys of discovering how you can best steward your gifts and your opportunities and experiences to meet the needs that you see in your communities. And most of all, I hope that the friendship that you've built working with each other and supporting each other continues to be a source of inspiration and encouragement. I know that there were different relationships that I was able to build with during my service in high school and in college, and that's been it's been so wonderful to be able to see those friends on their journeys as well. So I'm really glad that the universe brought you together for this. Thank you.
I actually also feel a lot the same way as Member Park does. And I just want to say that I feel like there's a difference between the beginning of the year, Kara, and versus now. You seem so much more mature, sophisticated, and a lot more confident, actually. And so along with what Member Park said, I am very excited for you. I hope you stay in touch with all of us and that, be watching out next year when you're a senior and see how things go. Okay.
Any other thoughts, comments? Okay, well, thank you so much. Really appreciate all your services along with your colleagues. Okay. We'll move on to our next item on the agenda is 8.2, report from Torrance Council of PTAs.
Good evening, President Mohammed, Board, Dr. Stowe, Cabinet, and those here and in our viewing audience. On the evening of April 25th, we had our service awards dinner. That evening, more than 280 guests gathered with us at the Torrance Holiday Inn as we recognized the exceptional volunteers from each of our units. Plus this year's Torrance Council Award recipients, Dr. Stowe, Terry Reagans, and Mary Scharf. Looking around the room that night, it was very apparent that each of our schools has a wonderful PTA community, and we're so grateful to the volunteers and all of the hours and the commitment they give to each school. It was nice to see a lot of you there too. Glad that we could all celebrate together. This last Saturday, we had our district bike rodeo at Victor. The event teaches bike safety to our 3rd through 5th graders, and we thank TUSD for working with us on this annual event. Tomorrow evening, I'm looking forward to seeing many parents at How to Talk to Your Teen. It's presented by Carrie Ann Lawson from Beach City's Health District. This is our first collaboration with the Redondo Beach Council of PTAs. It's a personal subject for me and my counterpart at Redondo Beach. So we're really hoping that this parent education event will help families find out what's really going on in their teen's head. We invite you to join us at 6 p.m. at West High, and more information is on our website at torrancecouncilofptas.org. The school year's just flown by, and we're looking forward to our spring brunch in June. Always a popular event. We look forward to this gathering of our units, principals, district, special guests as we celebrate the year, and also present scholarships to our 9 council recipients. This is my final report. My 2 years have flown by, and I'm really honored that I got to work with all of you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, Ann.
Actually, hi, Jan. I just happened to come across a couple of your board members on TCPTA earlier, and they told me what a wonderful leader you've been. You've been a fantastic president. They said all these things went so well. So thank you very much for your service as TCPTA president.
Thank you so much. We will now move on to agenda item 8.3, report from Torrance Education Foundation. President Fury.
Always a difficult job following the student representative and our Torrance Council of PTA's president, but I'll do my best. I'm Pat Fury, the current president of the Torrance Education Foundation. This is not my last year or my last meeting. Mr. President, Dr. Mohammed, members of the board, including our student representative from the board, Dr. Stowe and your cabinet and staff and all those in attendance here. Our year is coming to a close, and we just celebrated education at our annual gala on May 2nd. I'm proud to say that we raised somewhere around $100,000. We had 200 civic leaders and educators in the room that night, mostly everybody in this room, and those who didn't have great excuses, so we gave it to you. And now we move on, and a summer school is upon us almost, and we're getting ready for that. We do our elementary program at Hickory, our middle school at Kelly Mayor, and at South, we're doing a small high school program as well. And then I want everybody to mark your calendar for the next semester, because October 19th is the Skechers peer-to-peer walk. That is the biggest fundraiser, not only for the Torrance Education Foundation, but all of our local schools and all of the South Bay educational community. So far, Mr. Greenberg has given somewhere around $25 million to schools, raised it through the Skechers Walk in the last 16 years. And we're hoping that we can really raise the number up even higher, that we can get everything that each individual school needs through fundraising through this methodology, where you don't have to sell calendars, you don't have to sell cookie dough, you don't have to get chocolates and hand them out. You don't have to mandate people walking around with little discount cards. It's one day, and it's all over with. And within a month, everybody gets their money to fund whatever they need. So looking forward already to the summer and next year. And thank you all for all your support throughout the years. I certainly appreciate it personally. I know the board of the Torrance Education Foundation really appreciates your support. Any questions?
Yeah, the gala was wonderful. Thank you for all of your hard work in putting it on.
Well, thank you. And I forgot to mention, we did honor the Torrance Refining Company with a special award named after our former president and former mayor and former educator, Jim Armstrong. And it was really, I think, it's hard to believe we had not done this in the 32 years that the Ed Foundation had been involved, because they have constantly supported us financially and with volunteers, critical volunteers.
Right, just
Anything else?
congrats on a successful gala. Congrats on a successful fundraising.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful event as always, and happy to attend. Look forward to it next year too.
Next year, we're going to have dancing.
Maybe, no, I won't go then.
And we just did that to get rid of you.
I don't need to scar the people.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any comments? All right. Well, thank you so much, President Fury. Really appreciate all your support.
No enjoyment.
Bye.
All right. Next on the agenda is 8.4, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Stowe.
All right, Dr. Muhammad, thank you. Members of the board. Kara, great job. Getting to know you and your colleagues this year has been fantastic. You do great things, and I wish I would have got the memo on the hair color thing, because one of my close colleagues today recognized the fact that I might need some hair coloring. So, and you know, that blue's really nice. Oh, or that. Wanted to share a few things since our last meeting. First and foremost, I want to thank Mary Beth Borowski for bringing up this performance of Beetlejuice at a previous board meeting. She also sent us an email, and I was able to go see that. And so, not just that, but I know we had some middle school students at Madrona partner with Torrance High and SpongeBob the Musical. What I really was most proud of is the opportunity for particularly middle school students, but all of our students, to be able to perform on stage in a $13 million facility with professional lighting, and that is an experience that those students won't forget. And this performance, Mary Beth, you were right, it was fantastic. And kudos to the teachers and all of the staff at Cali Mayor who made this happen, and at South and the support. But this happens at each of our high schools. And the arts and music money, just so that you know, and this was the Prop 28 originally, and I know you've received several presentations and information about it, but this is a direct result of that arts and music money and our staff members who want to give students experiences that they otherwise couldn't. And so it was so great to sit and connect with some of the teachers at Cali. A lot of them were there to support their students and their colleagues, but just tremendous performance. And again, I know these things are happening across Torrance Unified, and I hope that next year you and the community, I know you are able to sometimes, but that we continue to support these events. Just great stuff. I want to recognize and thank the City of Torrance for continuing their Student in Government Day. This is a program for 8th grade students who write an essay, and then former Mayor Frank Scotto and his wife Cindy, they have a committee. This started when Frank was mayor. Cindy put together this program, and it's now been 20 rough years, I think 19 years. And that this has been going on, and it's an opportunity for our 8th graders from schools across the Torrance, including some of the private schools, to be able to engage and spend an afternoon, take on roles of those that work in city government. And so just a great day for us to celebrate the partnership that we have with the city and give our students, again, experiences that they otherwise wouldn't get. So Pat Fury left, but I wanted to recognize him for an idea. And this was something that came up late, shortly before the Ed Foundation dinner. but we're speaking. Dr. Egan and I approached the Ed Foundation to support the ongoing expenses that have been coming out of our general fund, but now are going to be picked up by the Ed Foundation. And that is support for our middle school sports program that is thriving, as well as the growing high school athletic captains training program. So we really want to make sure that that becomes embedded in part of the culture of what we do for our students who are involved in athletics, both at middle school and high school. And this contribution from the Ed Foundation is going to go a long way in helping us continue to sustain and support these programs. Friday night, we had the annual combat bot competition over at Hull Middle School. Thanks to our middle school elementary and high school teams and teachers. We had students over there participating. I love this video with the expression of the crowd. You see Nancy Ton from Madrona Middle School there. But the champion teams were Torrance High, Casimir, and Wood Elementary. I believe it was our first year with elementary teams. But lot of passion, a lot of energy, some tears for kids whose robots didn't make it, but that's good. I mean, that shows they've worked really hard getting to this point, and to go through that is not always easy, but we know it helps them grow and continue to become better. So just a great event, and thanks for all the teachers and administrators who continue to put that on over there. Want to bring this back up and just kind of summarize where we're at and our international student program. So we've talked about this before. We've highlighted. We even had a couple students from what I remember last year speak to us. This year we had 82 students attend Torrance Unified that live in other countries. 56 of them were here for the whole year, and then 26 for just one semester. And this was a program started back in 2010-11 to really generate some revenue for the school district. And it's done so much more than that. So we've got a lot of our staff members are host families for these students. Some of our students and families have traveled internationally to visit host families. I know Dr. Egan visited a student that they hosted over in Italy. And it's created bonds and experiences for our students that they otherwise wouldn't have had. And so it's a great program. This year, just in a numbers category, it brought in about $960,000 in additional revenue. Currently, we are at 60 students for next year, hoping to get more. One of the barriers is host families. And so if anybody in the community, any of our staff members know someone that would like to host, we can connect them with Jerry Lynn Mock, who's in our enrollment center, who manages this program, and always looking for ways to expand this and bring in high school students for 1 year to have this experience. And so it's a neat program. We have, within leadership and character, we had students at John Adams Elementary have a living statue museum, and they dressed up, they did research, it's the third year that they've done this. But again, these kinds of events are at a lot of our schools, and you might ask, why? We highlighted John Adams the last meeting. Why are they up again? We get a lot of our information from the social media feeds of our elementary, middle, and high schools. And so schools, if you want to be more highlighted more, you got to connect with Sarah and or do a better job with your social media. So just, these are opportunities for our students to learn about people both in the community, historical figures, and dress up like them, and be able to practice that speaking and public speaking and different presentation skills that are so important. So these students at John Adams Elementary. Saturday was a busy day across the city. First, it was the bike rodeo, which is annually hosted typically at Victor, but sponsored by the Torrance Council PTAs. They put all of this together. We will recognize next month at our recognition meeting some of the winners that won the district. And so Torrance Fire folks are there. looking at checking out bicycles for safety, making sure students' brakes work, that they're wearing helmets and things like that. And so it's a great community event where people come together and learn about bike safety, but also are able to win some awards and compete again in a little different low stress venue. And then finally, our bands, all 4 high school bands, as well as Richardson Middle School, performed in the Armed Forces Parade on Saturday. And so that's, again, great representation there from across the district, and students being able to march in a parade right here in Torrance is a special thing. And so I just want to continue to emphasize and thank our band directors and all the support staff and the parents who help make all of that possible. But it's a great day for the city. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stowe. Any comments from my colleagues?
Yeah. My wife and our daughters went to Beetlejuice Jr. and they can't stop talking about it, about how great it was. So I wanted to say thank you for bringing it to our attention. And they were raving about Sister Act that was at West High that Kara brought up. And just, I'm so proud of the programs. I mean, I grew up playing music, I grew up singing, and grew up being in theater stuff, and seeing that in the current generation is incredible. And the way that we're doing it, and the high level that we're doing it, and the energy and effort that's going into it is astounding. So I'm proud of our district for doing that, and keep it up, because my kids want to go to more. So thank you for that.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Stowe, for your presentation, and we'll move on to item 9.1, which is comments from the public. I'll do a quick little read. The Board of Education welcomes input from the public. Speakers wishing to address the board on non-agenda topics have completed the appropriate submission form on the district website or in-person speaker card, which are these yellow cards here. Time allotted for public comments on non-agenda items is limited to 3 minutes per comment and for a total of 30 minutes. Trustee Han's my timekeeper. A speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another. I have 2 cards. One is Leah Ho and Eileen Zavala. So they'll go up first if you guys want to come on up, and then followed by Carlos.
Hello, my name is Eileen Zavala. And my name is Leah Ho. And we are students from West High School. And we just wanted to come up here and talk about something that's very important to all high school students, which is the quality of our bathrooms. So we conducted a survey about this persistent issue, and we wanted to share results, which we got over 50 responses on. So our first question was, how happy are you with the state of the bathrooms at West High from rate of 1 to 5? So 50% of our students had rated the bathrooms a 2, which is already something that isn't something we're quite happy about. Our second question was, do the bathrooms usually have soap? 68% reported only sometimes, and 30% reported never. So that's 98% of the time that our bathrooms aren't regularly stocked with soap. Our third question was, oh wait, you want to go?
Yeah. Our third question was, how do you feel about the school closing down the bathrooms and leaving only a few opened around the campus from a scale of 1 to 5? 1, I don't care, and 5, to really, really upset. And an overwhelming 86% rated it a 4 and 5. Our last question is, do you avoid the bathrooms because of how unkempt they are? And 51% said no, because our question we phrased is, when I gotta go, but it was mainly because they were still upset, and 43% said yes, which is just disheartening to hear that half of the student body avoids going to the bathroom when they need to.
So now we wanted to share a few of our free response answers to the question of just like rant about anything you want. So one of our students said that the fact that we don't have any kind of soap is kind of crazy. Also, way too often the sink or the stall door is broken in some way. If West could improve on one thing, I would genuinely want it to just be the bathrooms. The next comment we got was, I don't understand why they close the bathrooms during lunch when that's one of the only times that students can actually go. And our third response was, it took them almost a year to replace the soap on the downstairs building in bathroom 4.
And then the last comment I want to highlight, which I personally connected with, was it's really annoying to go into most bathrooms and only 1 or 2 stalls are working and the others are broken. And pretty much every bathroom around campus has at least one broken stall. Also, our bathrooms never have soap in it, and we often have to walk all the way across the building to wash our hands in another restroom. And with that, we just wanted to bring this data to the board and address this issue because it has been a persistent problem over the years. And we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know it may look a little awkward, but we can't respond to non-agenda items. But so I don't want you to think we're not responding, but we have heard, and I'm sure staff will make some notes and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
President Mohammed, members of the school board and cabinet. I'm here tonight representing the almost 1,200 members of TTA in order to celebrate this year's accomplishments, honor the hard work and dedication that went into those accomplishments, and acknowledge the challenges that remain. First, I want to celebrate the passage and hopefully acceptance by you of the tentative agreement of our contract. While our negotiations chair, Amy Ehrman, will be speaking on this in more detail, I want to take a moment to thank Mr. Hernandez and the TUSD team for working with us in good faith throughout this process. This agreement represents a significant step forward for our membership, and Mr. Hernandez's and the TUSD team's support on many of these issues was instrumental in moving the process forward. We are also seeing progress in the area of employee discipline. The months-long process of addressing this key concern has recently been fraught with disagreement, leading to escalation and serious unintended consequences for all parties. However, I'm excited to report that through the partnership of Dr. Stowe and Mr. Hernandez, we have, in just the last few weeks, made important strides in finding an equitable and innovative path forward. I'm encouraged by this process, and I'm looking forward to further working with Dr. Stowe, Mr. Hernandez, and all TUSD district administrators to do the important work of establishing the components of relational trust in all aspects of our workplace. Even as we celebrate the progress these achievements represent, it is vital to the well-being of our students that we continue to acknowledge the challenges we face. In TUSD, there are still too many places where data has become an end in itself rather than a tool to make us better. Too often we work to improve our data for the sake of the dashboard or public perception, rather than making the data work to improve our students' learning and classroom instruction. In TUSD, there are still too many places where we spend more energy on looking good to the outside world instead of being good in service to our students. I know that making the district attractive to families is vital, but it must not take precedence over the primary task before us, which is to prepare our students for success in life. In TUSD, there are still too many places where meeting the minimum requirements of the law or past practice is considered sufficient, instead of thinking of those standards as a starting point, a foundation on which we should build and expand. In TUSD, there are still too many places where what might happen in the future, whether in our budget or in our curriculum, prevents us from providing the best possible now for our students. The perpetually looming fiscal cliff too often paralyzes us, preventing growth and creativity. We must find a better balance between preparing for an uncertain future while maximizing benefits to our students right now. In TUSD, there are still too many places that lack benevolence, reliability, competence, honesty, and openness in relationships between employees and administrators. These challenges are big and they are complex. Solving them will require difficult conversations. It will require humility at all levels of the district. This humility demands a willingness to admit, confront, and correct our mistakes. Am I out of time?
Sorry about that.
I almost got there. I was going to end really well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Anwater. Thank you for your leadership as you're working through these challenges. Thank you. All right. Moving on, we'll go on to discussion items, which is 10.1. Before that, we do have a speaker, so I'll kind of read a little paragraph. This one is for item 10.2. Okay, I'll go and read this. Speakers wishing to address the board on agenda topics are permitted to 3 minutes per topic. Total time granted for public input shall be limited to 30 minutes per topic. The board policies require that public presentations to the board comply with certain procedures included in items 2 through 4 listed in oral communications. The agenda card that I have is for 10.2, so we'll do 10.1 and then move on to 10.2. 10.1 is approval of the Torrance Unified School District and the Torrance Teacher Association Memorandum of Understanding, and I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. 10.2, we have a speaker card. It's the approval of tentative agreement, related salary schedules, and public disclosure of said agreement between the Torrance Unified School District and Torrance Teacher Association. And the card that I have is Amy Irvin.
Evening, everybody. I just wanted to take the time, can you guys hear me? Again, to recognize and thank our negotiations team for their hard work, dedication, and long hours spent throughout this lengthy bargaining. We have Carlos, our president from Torrance High, some of whom are not here tonight. Lisa Hamilton from Lincoln Elementary, Caman Navarro from North High, our executive director, Julie Schenkel, and Deb Bush from Riviera. I wanted to give a special shout out to Caman for her editing and formatting skills. This is what happens when you're the youngest on the team. She formatted, edited the 45-page tentative agreement, roughly 45 pages, in front of you. I think it took you 8 hours. What a way to spend a weekend. This TA brings a lot of new language to the contract, which we believe is in the best interest of all our members and reflects the spirit of recruiting and retaining top-notch teachers, making our members whole, and providing all of us with much needed relief. Thank you to our members who have been shirting up and showing up at the school board meetings, reading our updates, all that fun stuff in support of this tentative agreement. We also recognize that not all our members are satisfied with the outcome, but let me be clear, tonight's win does not make this the end of our advocacy. We remain committed to continue fighting the good fight, and we look forward to seeing you all at the bargaining table real soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. At this point, I'll entertain a motion for 10.2.
So move. Oh,
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
aye.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to 10.3, approval of tentative agreement, related salary schedules, and public disclosure of said agreement between Torrance Unified School District and CSE, California School Employees Association, CSE Chapter 19. I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
We have a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to 10.4. Approval of the tentative agreement, related salary schedules, and public disclosure of said agreement between Torrance Unified School District and California School Employees Association, Chapter 845. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 10.5, approval of the tentative agreement, related salary schedules, and public disclosure of said agreement between the Torrance Unified School District and Service Employees International Union, SEIU, Local 99. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 10.6, approval of salary increases for all certificated management, classified management, supervisory, confidential, unrepresented related salary schedules, and public disclosure of said agreement. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
A
Second.
motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 10.7, approval of employment agreements for the superintendent, chief business officer / deputy superintendent, and assistant superintendent human resources for the Torrance Unified School District. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
A motion?
You have to.
Oh, that's right. I have a readout. Okay, here we go. I was on a roll there. All right, here we go. Okay, agenda item includes proposed contract amendments for the superintendent, chief business officer, and chief personnel officer. The specific contract amendments are part of the agenda backup materials, which was posted on the agenda. on May 16, 2025. So I guess I first start off with, are there any discussions? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion and a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Before we vote, I have to read the statement by law. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, Subdivision C3, before taking final action on an employment agreement for a local agency executive or a salary or benefit increase for a current local agency executive, the board must provide an oral summary of the salary and or fringe benefits for local agency executives. Quote, local agency executive, unquote, is defined by Government Code Section 3511.1, Subdivision D1 through 3 as, quote, the chief executive officer, a deputy chief executive officer, or an assistant chief executive officer of the local agency, unquote. In our district, we consider the superintendent, chief business officer, and the chief personal officer who are employed by an individual contract as local agency executives. For consideration of the board tonight are several contract amendments for individuals who are, quote, local agency executives within the meaning of the law. Accordingly, for each contract amendment, we will read the following information into record. Now, I do understand that these are full contracts that we've published for purposes of full transparency. So I know while we're using the word amendment, it is representative of the full contract. The position of the local agency executive, the term, and the salary. So starting off with the superintendent, the term extends the contract through June 30th, 2029. Base salary to be paid is $355,391 and subject to all contract terms and agreement. The chief business officer, the term extends the contract through June 30th, 2028. Title will be changed to deputy superintendent. The base salary to be paid is $288,355 and subject to all contract terms and agreement. And the chief personnel officer, the term extends the contract through June 30th, 2028. Title will be changed to assistant superintendent human resources. Base salary to be paid is $249,218 and subject to all contract terms and agreement. Once the compensation summary is completed, the board may take final action to approve the contract. Now, I know we have a motion and a second, so at this point, I will ask for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to 10.8, approval of proposed updates to board policies and board bylaws, March 2025 revisions, first reading, and a question is, I believe we can waive second reading too. Is that correct? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion.
I have a question about the reading.
Go ahead.
About an item.
Go ahead.
So on the, one of the items I have a question on is the very first one, actually. Complaints concerning instructional materials. On the, at the end of it, on the agenda meeting materials, it says this: any challenge instructional material that is reviewed by the district shall not be subject to further consideration for 12 months unless required by law. I think that's too late. And I think that if things do come up, it should be come up for reconsideration. I would actually like to say, I'd like to actually put it back to what it was, to unless the superintendent determines that recommendation is warranted or required by law. I think that if we have to wait for the law, if let's say it's not law related, but a person has, there's issues with, people might have issues with it, and they're able to present that to you, I think that it should be brought up, or at least to be reconsidered, if there is concern. Just to wait for a whole year, I'm just wondering, is there a reason why we say a year? Is there a reason why we do it that way?
I'm going to defer to Dr. Crumpy on this one. If we can't reach an agreement with the board, we can just table this one and bring it back the next time. But Dr.
Yeah,
Crumpy.
and I mean, I think anything that the board would wish us to consider is reasonable. I think when these reconsiderations of instructional materials come up, it's a lengthy process. It isn't something that comes up and the next week it's done. It goes through a very thorough vetting and committees and discussions. And so I think that probably takes a few months just to come up with that recommendation and report. So to just not go through it continuously for somebody that may want to just turn around and you know, and re-up for the same exact material, I think is the purpose for that. But again, at the
So when we say instructional material, are we distinguishing this instructional material and like reading books? Books that you're allowed to read. You know, if we have, for example, we have things that we have to approve, like even today, we have to approve 2 books, right? And so so is that instructional material or is that just reading books? Like obviously today in the situation, we have issues where people do bring up issues about certain textbooks that are in the library or books that kids are reading today. And so is that different than an instructional material? Because I feel like they're 2 different things. I get the instructional material because that's what we're teaching in the classes, right, for the whole year. But like, for example, if there's a supplemental reading or a supplemental book or things like that, that is maybe people would rather say, hey, we don't want our kids reading that, then how does that go about?
Right. So I think it would be both.
Okay.
But generally speaking, I in 38 years in education, we accommodate those needs. And so it's very rare that a parent or a student would be opposed to a certain book, that an alternative assignment or an alternative reading material would not be provided for that student. So because of that and the work that our teachers do, I think our teachers work extremely hard to make those accommodations for people's you know, different needs and beliefs, that we don't see very many of these. So this is more of a banning of a specific book that usually comes up when someone wants other kids, students, children to not be allowed to read the book, because we really do accommodate almost every instance that a parent is requesting something different.
Right. And that's why I'm wondering, do we change when we said, by law? It's because the state of California, we're not allowed to ban books. Right. That's my understanding of the state of California. Right. I'm wondering if that change was because of that change in state of California law. Because we're not allowed to ban books.
And I'm not sure, because this is just the changes. I don't have right now the supporting law to support this. So I don't know if this is a Williams issue that got changed in state law that then we're just changing board policy to comply with. So I can do further research on that one.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, concerns?
I have a comment. I just want to say I appreciate the changes that you guys made for the student representative part of the bylaws. It's wonderful you guys changed it from student representative to board members, and that you list out very clearly the provisions of what takes the duties and roles and ability of a student board member. And that, most importantly for me, I like that you list out one of the mission or points is that we want to teach students the importance of civic involvement. And people like student board members like Kara Kim here and the other 3 also are obviously very involved civically by being a student board member. And I believe that right now the applications for the student board members of next school year are out. Do you recall when they're due?
June 2nd.
Okay.
And it got emailed to all families today, all students.
It's just today, perfect timing. So I would like to encourage all the students and families to encourage their students to apply for this. I think you gain a lot from being involved with this institution, and you get a inside look at how things are considered, what things are considered, and you know, and so on. So it's all good. So apply out there.
Table, there's a couple things on this too. Another one.
That's it.
Okay. Any other comments or thoughts?
Just one more. if
Go
I
ahead.
can. So I think also because I don't know, so the mobile devices, right, that's on here. I'm not sure if we're gonna update that before January, because when is the law kick in for cell phone use
July 1st
of this year?
of 26.
Okay, so we'll
be going through a
Okay, I was gonna
process
say,
this next year.
To be scrubbed a little bit. I wasn't sure when that was gonna be changed. So,
Yeah.
okay, I just wanted to.
We'll be
make sure.
going through a process this summer and in the fall to engage and update it.
Okay, because obviously the board policy, I wasn't sure if that was gonna be changed anytime soon, because according to the policy, the board shall review and that's necessary, update this policy at least once every 5 years. So I'm thinking, once every 5 years, well, if that's gonna change next year, then we gotta get these to students. So I just wanted to make sure that on this board policy that was on there.
Any other questions? Tom?
Oh, just real quick, I appreciate that you have added, not just revised this time, but to add it as section 5141.5, a section on mental health, which is very important for all of us, especially our students. Thank you for doing that.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing.
So
none.
are we pulling board policy 1312.2
That's
for
what we're-
review at
Yeah.
the next time? Okay.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion
It's so moved.
to
Second.
so we're making a motion to approve all except for 1312.2. Are we waiving second reading?
You know what, actually, can we just, I'm okay, as long as you guys are aware of it, that's fine. I think we can waive it all. I think we can waive second reading.
Okay,
So I should I would make a motion, just waive second reading. I think we're good to go.
with the exception of 1312.2.
We don't have to do that either.
Oh, we do all.
Just-
Okay, so let's someone entertain a motion to approve all board policies and waive second reading.
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So we've approved all board policies. Moving on to consent item, 12.1 through 17.21. Is there anyone that wish to pull any items? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the consent calendar?
We have a motion.
second,
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Consent items approved. Moving on to our informational. Scrolling down to. All right, here we go. 18.1 is board calendar revisions. Okay, 19.1, we'll start on my right. Trustee Lou with the LACSTA report.
yes, oh, sorry, the LACSA report. Sorry, I was thinking about another thing, another report. But today is LACSTA's last board meeting, last general meeting of the year, I believe. Yes, and they're having their elections and recognitions today. So congratulations to the incoming board members. I'm not sure who the winners are yet because they start at the same time as our school board meetings. And so just want to say congratulations from Torrance Unified. And that's LACSTA report.
Thank you, Trustee Lou. We'll go to SoCal Rock.
And we have our meeting tomorrow. Our meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
Our
That,
last meeting was, we didn't have a quorum, so we didn't meet last time.
okay. Okay, no problem. 19.3, other comments from the board. We'll go to my right. Trustee Park.
Yeah, just so very quickly wanted to share that I had the opportunity to speak speak at West High School to ethnic literature students today, and it was really fun experience. I spoke on the topic of building a legacy and was able to share about my experience and reflection serving in the Peace Corps. And it was really fun. And the students were so engaged and had lots of questions. So yeah, it was just really wonderful to get to know them a little bit and share a little bit about my experiences. And I wanted to thank Melissa Waller, Gabriel Calon, Monica Marquez, and Alexander Ross for inviting me. So, and hopefully other board members will also have opportunities to speak about their very wonderful lives as well to the
Not
students.
as good as yours.
No.
So I also want to again say thank you, Cara, and for the rest of the student board reps, student board reps. It's always a delight having you guys here. And so you guys are fantastic. And so for all the ones who are going to college, we wish you the very best. You're going to be a senior next year, so it's all going to work out one more year. So it should be fantastic. Your enthusiasm is very captivating, right? And it kind of excites all of us. So we love it. Keep it up. Keep that enthusiasm. I hope you had a good time too. That's what it is. Yeah. Hope you had a good time, and hope all of you guys all the student reps had a wonderful time as well. But again, I want to express my gratitude to TTA for all those who showed up today. I want to express my gratitude for Carlos and the negotiation team for doing a wonderful job working and partnering with our negotiation team. And so I also want to extend my gratitude to Mr. Hernandez, to Dr. Butler for just doing a fantastic job. It's always a wonderful thing. We understand we're not adversaries. We're just two groups of parties that can come together to what's best for students. And I really am excited about this time. I felt like things were well done and very collaborative and very supportive. And so really want to thank our team as well as the team with the TTA. Understand that as well as that it's a challenging time, and I'm grateful that Dr. Butler somehow found a way that we can give 1%. I know it's not a lot, but 1% is, especially in a time like this, it is a lot. I'm not yet sure if you know, LA City right now has a budget of 1 billion, a deficit of 1 billion. They're gonna have to lay off 650 people. State of California has a deficit of 12 billion, and we don't know how well that's gonna look like. Poway School District had to lay off 112 staff. Santa Ana had to lay off 550 staff. Pasadena Unified had to lay off 150 staff. Burbank Unified had to lay off 80 staff. About 2,300 people were laid off in the state of California in school districts this year. And so that's why I'm proud of our team. I really am proud. And I'm really grateful just for the thoughtfulness, the insight. And I cannot restate the fact that they are out there really trying to do the best for teachers and for the students. And so I kind of want that message to be clear. It may not feel like it because we don't get all that we want, but just to see how they think and how they negotiate and how they really think about all the possibility and all the issue. They really try to do the best that they can with what we have, right? It's not like we can go out there and raise revenue however we want. That'd be fantastic. But we have to be really cognizant about how we're going to do this so that when times are like this, we're not like the LA city of LA or the state of California. We have this massive deficits. We have to be prudent so that we can make sure that we can continue on and for the success of our students. So thank you, really, on my behalf. Thank you so much for Dr. Stowe as well, for the team, for making all this possible. So I'm just glad that we're able to come to this conclusion today. Again, thank you, TTA.
So, Trustee Han, Trustee Luke.
I concur with Member Han. It's just wonderful what we were able to do today after the many rigorous negotiation sessions. I normally do a anniversary piece for our classified employees who reach like special anniversary dates, but I believe we don't have any this time. So I do not have any other oral communications.
Thank you, Trustee Luke. Trustee Zuckerman.
I feel like Trustee Park normally does. Everybody said what I was going to say. I'm glad that we started on that end this time, so I can share that experience. I wanted to thank the negotiating teams for not only TTA, but all of the unions. I know that this negotiation cycle was a long one, that there were lots of meetings. This is the first time that I've experienced that. I'm looking at ways that we can improve that to make it a little bit easier for everybody. So that's one of the things that I'll be working on and talking to staff about ways that kind of we can optimize. It's just stuff that's been rattling around in my brain. I am happy that we were able to approve all of those agreements tonight and that we are finished with this portion of it, at least. And I'm sure that's a sigh of relief for lots of people. I know that there are lots of things to discuss. I wanted to thank the members of all the unions that have reached out to me to discuss whatever their issues are. My ears are always open for those conversations. I think that's one of the reasons why we're here, is to talk to members of the unions and all constituents to make sure that they're being heard for whatever the issue is. And especially if there are ways that we can improve, I'd love to know that. I'm only 6 months in. Right? I got elected in November, got sworn in December, and it's May now. And it feels like a long time, but it hasn't been that long. So I'm still learning. Thank you to all the staff, Dr. Stowe and everybody else, to helping me kind of acclimate and learn. And thank you to my fellow board members and trustees to kind of help me acclimate to this and get my bearings. And I also wanted to say that much like Trustee Park had an experience where she was able to go to West High, I went over to Jefferson and participated in their career day, which was awesome. And a lot of times career day, you can be kind of prattling on about what your achievements are or what your goal is. And I realized pretty quickly when I had 4 sessions where I had to fill 25 minutes for each session with kids, that I wasn't going to be able just to do it with what my job was. So we had a pretty rousing discussion where I was able to take some middle schoolers through a case where we did Jack and the Beanstalk, and we tried Jack for murder. So we'd split the class into a prosecution team and a defense team. And we had them go through the Constitution and we had them go through what the rights were and make sure that we could argue against each other and really kind of think and engage everybody. And it was great because there were lots of kids who wouldn't have normally said anything that were coming up and they were talking. And it reminded me that it's fun to engage everyone and that there's a lot that we can do as a community. There's a lot that we can do for everyone. And so with that, I know the year is ending. Congratulations on finishing up all of your tests and AP tests. I know you have other stuff coming up. And to all of the students, all of our student board members, from my limited experience here, you guys have been exceptional. And I am proud as a former student school board member myself, along 400 years ago, it feels like. You guys are so far above and beyond what we were doing that it's really nice to see. And I would encourage anybody who's got that email today or that message today, apply. I'd love to have a lot of numbers to look at. And I wish you the best. I know as the year is winding down, keep cranking. We're almost there. And thank you all for all the work you're doing. And the kids, if you're watching, go to bed. I love you. Good night.
Thank you. You actually did pretty well for going last.
I had to say something.
All right. Well, yeah, that's right. Thank you, everyone. It's been great. Everyone working together. We've been able to achieve a lot, and I agree with a lot of what's been said. So I'm not going to repeat that. Other than I think our next meeting is our recognition meeting, right, in June. So with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
A motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Hmm.